Hey there, chart friends. Lamont here from Chart Guys, checking in on the solar sector. The electric vehicle and wind sector. Okay. All right. Tesla obviously got that big old push yesterday on that news into some profit taking, and then today, however, saw some nice continuation, heading up to test all-time high resistance of 502.49. Volume is very believable, obviously. Okay, so that little short played out for you in after hours, extended hours, I mean. Target, my bad. Obviously, we didn't get that deep. All right, so strong push up, no hourly consolidation today. Tomorrow, the bulls will be scouting for an hourly higher low over 44179. I wonder what. I kind of prefer the hours here because we have two higher lows that are in after hours. I don't love that. So for me tomorrow, my key support would be 438.08. This is the one that I would care about. And so bulls will be scouting an hourly higher low, anything over 438.08 B1, and they are looking for that hourly higher low. We just want to make sure we are doing so in 5-minute oversold conditions. I feel hot because you should. Well, not that. It would be helpful to your trading. So basically, looking for a back test of all of the top of the range, right? The green box that we have here is here because it's been the range that the resistance of the range. So I would not be surprised by any means of a back test of this area, and if it can get 5-minute extended into the zone of interest, that'd be great. And for initial profit taking, you probably just want to take a target and then keep a runner, right? Because there's the potential for Tesla to keep going on this fundamental development. Already said it. Ultimately, I care more about the chart, but obviously there's some news drive to this right now. Let's see. Yep, that's pretty much it. All-time high resistance and hourly higher low on deck tomorrow. If the bears can show up and change the trend bearish, then we'll be scouting for a daily higher low over 401.60. Okie dokie, NEO. So NEO just chopping around now. Would not be surprised, like I said, to just continue seeing some sideways action. If we could get to the channel support just going sideways, that'd be a pretty good look for the bulls, in my opinion. And if we can bottom fish the supports in hourly overbought conditions, that's the ideal trade. In my opinion, this short would be rather risky, right? But it's an all-time high bull, and it would be based off just this trend line and RSI extension. Not a bad combination, but shorting the blue sky bull is always very risky. It's not that it's risky. You set your own risk. It's that you have a high likelihood of being stopped out. I should say that. I did say that. Very tired. Okay, here we go. Alrighty. I still like these levels here. RSI will come up. All right, so something like that. Come down, test this range in hourly oversold conditions. I don't hate that. And if you want to be a bit more aggressive, you can be bottom fishing. I'll chop down here though, so I would definitely try to include some fills near the lower end of the range. Want to leave some potential fill under over there, and we would just be looking for the lower high initially, and then for the median line test and test these. Okay, so in the interim, if you want to be a little aggressive, you can bottom fishing these previous resistances here with this bottom 5 minute. I mean, that's not even terribly aggressive, honestly. All right, so it's up to you. You know, what do you want to play? The hourly time frame, the 5 minute time frame, or the daily pivots? somebody, somebody complained about my Tesla, um, the trade that the trade setup that was down here. Someone messaged me. You know who you are, and they said they essentially were complaining that they used this center line fill. That was it. This average price line, and they just used one order. And so it's a range. I explained. I always scale in using the white box as a range, top, middle, and bottom. So if you're not familiar with that, now you know. That's how I like to do it. And so you it's just funny, I guess, because I was so happy about it. I was so happy about grabbing this near perfect fill that just wasn't expecting negativity about this trade. Either way, hopefully in the future you can benefit from a range. I always encourage people to trade with a zone of interest, scaling in over a range. It's really hard to like just one barrel fire away at something and expect to nail it. I mean, if you use internals, it can be better in certain situations. But anyway, getting off on tangents now. Okay, NEO was done, I believe. Okay, so NKLA. Oh man, just a straight stop out, huh? All right, so stopped out on this potential short here. Wow, that is hot dang. Okay, so I guess electric vehicle stocks are seeing some sympathy moves with Tesla being added into the S&P 500, and I guess that does make sense. Like Tesla, they have first market, first mover advantage, but I mean, big boys are coming. You know the classic automakers, and now you have competition like NKLA. So I suppose that makes sense that they would get some sympathy. Anyway, did you even have a chance? Yes, there was not much to get to get out of this trade, but the volume was a key. You know, if you took this trade and you got stopped out, no big deal. 5%. You should have been sized properly for it, but I just want to take note of the average volume, right? When you have massive volume on the open like that, this volume compared to these previous days here, here, that's a huge red flag. You know, so the original setup, the setup that you have, it's context, right? You want to know not just trend context, but volume context, right? How much volume is coming in. So if you stayed with this trade in the future, what you want to be mindful of is volume, and in this case, the extension was right. Hopefully, you didn't hurt. Please manage that risk. All right, so obviously we're gonna get this, and we're probably not going to. And essentially, what it looks like is happening is that like wedge, that kind of dirty wedge that was drawn out the other day, is attempting to play out. I just say dirty because this trend line cuts through. Yeah, but now the break looks pretty good. Came back, got a back test, and now we just left off of this base that was supported with a few bottoms, right? And the daily trend is not technically bullish yet. We have not yet pulled back for a higher low, and we have not yet pulled back for a higher low. So we're just watching out for that potential hourly trend change. But going into the end of the day, obviously bulls are very strong. Looks like a potential bull flag, right? So ideally, what will happen tomorrow for bulls is that they'll show up, defend this 24.95 low, break to higher highs over 26.72 to see some more daily follow through and test this key resistance here of 27.30. After that, we will be looking up at this gap fill. Whoops. We'll be looking up at this gap fill resistance here of 29.60. Adam and UPEC. Okay, workhorse. This setup did give you some potential to take some profit. Really, you close this out if you took this trade because it Like, bulls are pretty strong, but let's take a look at the differences, right? So one major difference here is that these are really major pivots that got put in. These are the daily time frame, right? So these are really major pivots that got put in into our zone of interest. This EQ was very large. That's one big difference compared to the NKLA situation. NKLA, not a lot of price action here. Vacuum, right? WKHS has a significantly larger amount of volume put in right near here. Okay, so daily trend remains bullish. We're looking up at 3059 weekly resistance on the hourly time frame. Higher lows and higher highs, still very healthy. In this situation, you got two fails. So if you are took this trade, I for sure would have at least taken off this piece, right? Probably would have just taken it off, honestly. But you don't want to see this, right? If a price comes into your zone of interest and then it just stays there, that's kind of a red flag. The oversold plays, right? Because we want to scale in when things are overbought or oversold. Oh, interesting. So this should have been adjusted, right? So because the hourly didn't get oversold here, to make sure that you adjust it. So potentially you would have just got that one fill, and that would have been fine. Either way, you should have closed this trade out if you are short because, well, not that you, I'm not sure to say you should. You might have wanted to consider closing out most, if not all, of the position just because of how strong the bulls are. That being said, there is the potential of a kind of a wedge shaping up, but rising wedges, I don't know if it's terribly common. Rising wedges break bearish less frequently than, and you know what? That's not. But yeah, rising wedges break down less frequently than falling wedges break up. Little tip. Okay, so tomorrow we'll just be watching this hourly trend. If the bulls can show up tomorrow, defend this low of 2240, break to higher highs, we'll be looking for more bounce follow through, looking up at that key weekly resistance. If the bears, however, are able to show up and defend this high of 2360 and then break this low of 2240, then we will be scouting for that daily consolidation. Daily, we'll be looking for that daily higher low, in which case we just want to get hourly oversold. So it would probably be somewhere down. I would come. But I doubt it gets there in one day, so no worries right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some bounce here, right? Perhaps over here. So in the short term, if you're looking for like an hourly pivot, then maybe you'll wait for 5-minute oversold conditions. Sense actually. Oh. Okay, and remember always adjust things so that the top of your scale will be where the 5-minute becomes oversold. Right now that this is about right, but tomorrow I don't know. Oh, actually it should be up there. Okay, so just always be mindful of your RSI. That's your exhaustion indicator. We want to buy support and sell resistance with our exhaustion indicator to give us a bit sharper of an edge. NEE had a bearish day. NEE did have a bearish day. Okay, so for NEE, bear break on NEE, no confirmed daily downtrend though, technically. Broke to a higher high, but honestly, I would say all things considered, you could just call that a daily downtrend. You have it like this. It's just choppy, I guess. Price action trend changes not terribly important in this choppy environment. But whatever the case may be, we got a bear break now. We are looking for a weekly higher low. Anything over 7250 will be a weekly higher low. Oh, actually, we haven't even broken the previous support yet, but surprised if that were to happen. If that were to happen, we'd be looking to top fish this previous range here. They'll be making this play, honestly. bottom fishing off the distances. Bottom's got put. So essentially a backtest of the hourly channel. Over here. All right, so let's see. I like it. Pretty much just right there. And again, you just want to adjust for RSI. Tomorrow, if it changes, you just want to make sure that you start scaling in when RSI gets oversold. Fine too. No change. Okay, that about covers it. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all soon.